On the first play, has a man down the seam. It is caught at the 40, 35, 30, 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown. It is Jakari Dillard. He did it again. All right, welcome. Here at the Pizza Ranch at Conway, and it started with some fireworks for the Bears, and unfortunately they fall short 23-21, and Jakari Dillard figured heavily at the beginning and made a big play late that unfortunately was overturned on replay, and I think the general consensus is that the league didn't get it right. But, Coach, this is one of those games, and we felt kind of the same way coming out of the Sam Houston game. If a play, like literally one play, goes different, maybe the outcome's a little bit different. It's a hard one to swallow, especially in this case. This has a special situation, obviously, where you had a call go against you after it was ruled on the field a catch. Would have given you guys an opportunity to score late and possibly win the game. But it was a hard-fought game, and unfortunately just a little short.
Yeah, anytime you have a tough call like that late in the game, it's huge. And you never know when one play, and that's not necessarily the play. There was probably 10 or 11 other plays throughout the game that you could point to that may have changed the outcome of the game. So you'd like to not let it get to that point where a play like that matters that much. But in that moment it was huge, and I have my opinion of whether it was a catch or not a catch, but it is what it is, and we've got to move on. And I thought our guys were resilient. They played hard against a really good football team, and obviously a tough environment. But we took a big blow from them early, and we figured them out, and we just stayed the course, and in the end had a chance to win it. Really kick a field goal at the end to win it. So you don't ever again, no moral victories in a loss. Obviously we want to win every game we play. But our guys played hard, and I enjoyed watching them, the effort they had.
6 points is all you guys gave up the last three quarters, which is impressive. You mentioned they came out and kind of hit you guys in the mouth, but you were able to respond with the big touchdown and then made some plays in the second half. And once you guys got the lead at 21-20, I really felt like, it felt like a 10-point lead. I said on the air, and it really was such a sigh of relief at that point. And you really didn't give up much after that either. Unfortunately, just needed one more score.
Yeah, once we got that lead going into the fourth quarter, I felt fairly confident. The way our defense was playing. But again, I went over as soon as we scored that point, and I went to our offense. I said we're going to have to score one more. And whether it be a field goal or a touchdown, I just felt like we were going to need more points. And obviously every time you go out on offense, you want to score points. But I felt like our defense was playing well at that point. And really, after that first quarter, the last three quarters, our defense made adjustments to that mobile quarterback and really shut them down.
Yeah.
And kept us in the football game when the offense was trying to figure out what their stroke was for the night. So hat goes off to Coach Thurman and our defense, the way they came out that second, third, and fourth quarter. And then really our offense, we outgained them by over 100 yards. So we outplayed them in a lot of areas, throughout the football game, but in some crucial moments we made some big mistakes.
There was so much hype around this game. It's a rivalry game. It's a trophy game. It was for sole possession of first place, which you guys were, I don't know if you were 100% aware of it, but it was trending that way very early on. Incarnate Word was getting stomped early, so it was pretty clear that this was going to be for sole possession. Again, you try to sort of balance the excitement level and the hype, I guess, going in, because you want to play at a very high level, but you maybe don't want to get too hyped. And it looked like for the first time that your quarterback maybe was a little too excited at times.
Yeah, Luke, and again, he played the best defense he's played to date, and really probably the best defense we faced all year, and that's including Tulsa. Mm-hmm. Just a phenomenal defense. And so we knew going in that they were going to put pressure on him. We knew going in they were going to give him looks that he hasn't seen. And they were tough on him. They hit him and they made him get kind of in a backpedal in the pocket at times because of their pressure. I thought they did a good job stunting their front with our young O-line as well. Put in our past situations, making it tough on them. But he was tough. He was gritty. He kept playing, and that's one thing Luke Hales is. He's a tough dude, and he's gonna compete his tail off. And he made a couple rookie mistakes, and that's to be expected from a rookie. And that's something we'll coach on and learn from, and hopefully he'll make the adjustments and not make those mistakes again. But our full confidence is in Luke Hales at this point and what he's doing. But we've got to continue to get better and not make those mistakes in big moments.
Yeah, that's why they don't call them veteran mistakes, right? They call them rookie mistakes because it's early on and there's part of a growing process. We actually even talked about that during the broadcast. And what's amazing is, and you can't take for granted how amazing he's been through the first couple of games as a starter since taking over the job. But again, I talked about the number of plays. There were so many critical plays. The overturn call, which I know you probably can't even spend a lot of time on, but I think everybody who watched it knows how they feel about it. And we were, again, it was called a catch on the field. It would have given you guys an opportunity to get back into scoring position. You only needed a few more yards for a Matt Cummins field goal attempt. There was a missed field goal, though, Coach.
Yeah.
And this is I don't want to say a recurring theme, but there have been more than I would say what I'm used to seeing from a UCA team with the handling of whether it's the snap or the hold or being out of sync or whatever. Have you identified what's going on there?
Yeah, it was just, and Reeve did a great job the whole night snapping, and that last one just, went low, and I thought Will Seiler did a great job handling our holder, Will Seiler. And he got the ball down, and really, really Matt trusted his holder and did a good job. I don't know whether the snap affected his eyes or maybe his rhythm of hair, but for whatever reason he hooked it a little bit. But that's something we practice every day. I mean, we literally practice field goal every day we practice, and those guys obviously do it a lot on the side. Coach Howard does a great job with them in their special teams. But that's unfortunate. A 42-yard field goal. You want to make that majority of the time, but that's football. It's football, and the tough part about that call getting overturned was that would have put us 1st and 10 on the plus 38. With about 2 minutes and 10 seconds left, and hopefully we would have been able to punch it in or at least get another field goal attempt at that point. So, and then just a lot of little things like that you look at that could have changed the outcome of that game. So, fairly disappointing in some areas like that.
I want to talk about a couple other critical plays. There were some positives certainly. I want to talk about what you guys drew up on the very first play from scrimmage, but I just wanted to kind of stay in the same vein and finish these things out, and then we don't have to talk about them again tonight, fortunately. But there was also a field goal attempt early by them, and your defense bowed up and then held them back, and they settled for a field goal and unfortunately get a hands to the face there. And, again, that is such a rare call, and I thought, oh, boy, this is a bummer.
Well, that made you kind of think, well, here's one of those nights. Because that's not something you do here. It's like you said, you don't see that very often. And matter of fact, I was just kind of confused at the call because I didn't know what they were calling. I'm sitting there going, well, what's the call? Well, Javius got his hand, right at the guy's collar, and it slipped up, and it wasn't like it was anything intentional, but that's the rule, and they made the call, and obviously that took 3 points on the board, and they were able to score a couple plays later and put 7 on the board. So that could have been the difference in the football game when you look at it.
There's no doubt.
So that's way at first drive of the game. So you just never know when those plays and those times are going to come. That's why we constantly educate our players that you've got to play every play like it's the last.
Yeah. Hales throws deep again down the left sideline. Back shoulder throw. It is caught. It is caught by Myers for a touchdown. All right, welcome back. 7:13 here on the Nathan Brown Show at Pizza Ranch in Conway, and that was one I wasn't sure about, Coach. Great throw by Luke Hales, and that's trusting your receiver. Defensive back never turned around, and great to see Brandon get on track. He had a couple of balls earlier in the game that we expect him normally to catch, and he was able to come up with that one. It was a big score for you guys. And what'd you see on that play?
Yeah, it was a one-on-one matchup. Coach Collins made a check from the box for this play call, and we knew that we put Brandon actually in the slot to maybe go against a safety, a little bit lesser defender, So that was a scheme thing. Good job scheming up their defense, and Brandon, ran a great route, got a good release, and then he was able to back shoulder the throw, and that's one of his better plays is back shouldering a big body guy.
Yeah, well, you had, and I don't know if maybe I missed it or if you guys haven't used it much this year, but you had the big trip combo with Lawan Winningham, Dillard, and Myers.
That was new this week. Yeah. And that's something you'll continue to see us expand on because, you look out there and you've got, Lawan, who's a 6'4", Jakari's in the slot, who's 6'4", and then you got Brandon, who's 6'3". All three of them are physical kids, can catch the ball down the field. And that to me can be a weapon as we push forward and something we probably should have got together and put in quicker than this.
Yeah, I guess we were also sort of anticipating all the stops getting pulled out. You guys used some wild bear early in the season, and it's something I know you love, and there's a lot of wrinkles off of it. You guys haven't really gone back to it much. What are you seeing from that, or I guess is it all about matchups?
Yeah, it's matchups, and you'll see it. You'll probably see it again this week. And we just felt like with McNeese's aggressiveness, what they do in the box, that we didn't feel like we get a numbers advantage by doing that. So, just the opportunity didn't arise this week for that. But I thought our running backs ran hard. Our yards weren't totally there, but against the defense, it was giving up about 83 yards a game, or close to that. We were able to push it over 100, and I thought Carlos and Kier both had some big runs throughout the night.
Yeah, we'll have the Carlos Blackman 39-yard touchdown, Coach. Every week, the last 3 weeks now, he has had a highlight reel run that if you're an NFL scout, I got to think you're drooling over, and certainly it's going to be a big help for you guys the rest of the way and next year as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a knack for that. He's a very strong, explosive kid. Matter of fact, the other night, on that run the other night, I mean, he goes outside, sees the hole, cuts it back inside, and then you saw the speed to get away from him that you've talked about, that you can actually see him faster than what he's been in the past. So something that's encouraging, him being able to outrun some defenders, and we know what he can do with, if somebody gets around him, he's going to truck them or he's going to make them miss, and he's just got a knack for making big plays.
He's powered by Sour Patch Kids, for those of you scoring at home. That's just how he does it. So, okay, interesting turn of events at the end of the half. And, again, I'm not trying to poke or pick at anybody, but it was a weird thing. Their player made an error. You guys punted away. He's standing around the 9, and he acts like he's not going to take it, and he's not going to win an Academy Award anytime soon. He didn't fake anybody out. As he goes for it, it touches off his fingertips, and you all recover it. So we're thinking, oh, great. And not only, you guys kind of it was struggle to get things going. It's like, oh, my gosh, they might go into the half with a lead here, right? Or even, narrow the lead at least a little bit. So, and on a quick change, always expect to go for the jugular. So what was the thinking there?
Well, first of all, the punt was a great job by Joe Hampton and Hunter Toomey. Both, the guy faked like he wasn't going to do anything, and then he went to grab the ball. And actually, as soon as he went to grab the ball, Joe Hampton goes and tackles him. Which is a great job. I mean, Joe didn't stop on the play. He was expecting tackles him. The guy fumbles it up, and obviously Toomey was able to land on it. So that was huge. That was a huge momentum shift. Got our offense back on the field with about 48 seconds left, I believe. We had one timeout, so obviously we've got plenty of time, for 3 downs to try to get the ball in the end zone. So our thought there was, we were going to sprint out to kind of protect Luke. And our initial read wasn't there. We were trying to hit Lester Wells on an out route, where they did a good job covering it. And when you're that constricted, again, I talked about it. A rookie mistake, a moment we can learn from. The field's constricted there when you're inside the 10, and so a lot of times when your first read's out, you can rally up and throw the deep ball. Well, there's not really a deep ball when you're that close. So Luke maybe trusted his receiver a little more than he should have. And he just didn't throw a great ball, and that moment, that's a learning moment. First thing, and what I always tell our guys is, look at the way I'm reacting. I'm not yelling at you. I'm not screaming at you. As soon as he came to the sideline, I said, just relax. Here's what we saw. Here's what we need to do. So hopefully he understands. Next time, understand we got a timeout. We're down to 40 seconds now. Throw the ball away. Let's get 2nd and goal from the 9, and let's see what happens next. So a great learning moment. Obviously, you hate for that to happen in that moment. Because that could have been the ball game. If we just kick a field goal there, we win the football game because we lose by 2.
Right.
And that's unfortunate, and that's the way it works. But we'll learn from it. We'll be better for it.
I do want to talk about a positive play. Let's flip the script a little bit here. The touchdown to Jakari Dillard. What did you guys see that led you to call that on your first play from scrimmage? 75 yards.
Yeah, and I think that was a good call by Coach Collins. He came to me before the game, and he said, I think I want to start out with this play, and he named the play, and he said, I want to take a shot, and I said, I love it. I'm not, you don't have to you don't have to twist my arm to take a shot. I can promise you that. And it was a good scheme. Again, we went with the big package. It was big guys, and we went to a trips look as far as the formation, and we knew they played a one high safety, and our inside receiver influenced that safety just enough to where Jakari was able to get behind them, and Luke made a good throw, and again Jakari made a good catch. In traffic, with the distraction, made a catch, and then 75 yards down the field. So big time play there, especially them getting points, and then us able to respond right away on the road.
Well, I mean, I'm listening to the call, and I know I'm thinking in my mind, man, I was way behind there because it freaked me out. It caught me by surprise. I was like, wow, out of the gate. Yeah. It reminded me of the first ever game that Steve Sullivan and I did. It was 2007. You guys were playing La Tech. And you snuck a running back in at fullback and ran him on a wheel route, and all of a sudden it's like a 50-yard gain on first down, and Sully wasn't even ready yet. And we're like, what just happened?
Yeah. I'm a big fan of going out with a bang. I think you can start a game off with some momentum like that, and usually you can get a snowball effect going. And obviously that was a huge play in the game that gave us a chance, really all the way till the fourth quarter to be in the game. Yeah,
well, Jakari's doing some work. Over 100 yards again. I mean, he's really playing incredibly well. This is a very good league for receivers, and I think he's playing his way into a first-team selection in the postseason if he keeps it up. And the Bears go back to the run game. Blackman tries to bounce it out to the right side. Now straight up the middle. 25-20, 15, 10, 5. Blackman, touchdown, Central Arkansas. Carlos, 39. 23 for 39 into the end zone. The Bears have locked it up at 20. All right, welcome back. And that was the touchdown, obviously, that got the Bears even. The extra point was good. The Bears took a 21-20 lead at that point, and a field goal by McNeese was all the scoring in the final quarter, unfortunately. And so, but that was an exciting moment. And as you said, I mean, it was such a fight. I mean, you guys were digging yourselves out of a hole the entire night.
Yeah, it was just a good fight by our guys, especially the second half. Defense just really, really stoned them after that first quarter. Just really pleased the way that they came out and played, and you could see the momentum building. I mean, as the game went on and stuff started going our way, we built off that. And I think our guys, man, we got great teammates. They feed off each other. They believe. They're constantly engaged in what's going on, so that's huge. I mean, anytime you've got players that will do that, and especially on the road in a tough atmosphere, you've got to have good teammates, and especially in tough situations like that, because you look at it 17-7 in the first quarter, you're thinking, man, this could get out of hand. But we fought through and found a way, and like you said, had a chance to be going into halftime with the lead, playing as bad as we did in the first half. So, we've got a good team. We just got to get over that hump on these close games on the road.
Yeah, it was a weird game early on, and you guys just couldn't seem to get rhythm. And you could sense it, Coach. I mean, Orgeron really created a spark for them. Those guys were hyped. He was hyped. I mean, you don't usually see a quarterback go crazy and go over there and rally up the fans after a score. But, I mean, he had them on fire over there early on.
I think he's a guy that the team responds to really well. And I told Coach Guidry after the game, I thought it was a good move, putting him at quarterback. I think he added a spark to him. I think, Tabry got in for 3 plays, and we 3 and outed him pretty quick.
Yeah.
He adds an element of being able to have escapability and run the football a little bit with some design quarterback runs. So I can see him having a successful career there and be someone you have to worry about for the next couple of years.
We're joined by Alex Fotioo tonight, too, because the players, as we mentioned, are at a life skills event. I don't know if is it directly related to homecoming or just happened to fall this week?
Well, it just happened to fall this week. It's a whole athletic department-wide deal.
Gotcha. I want to talk more about what you guys have going for homecoming this week. But, Coach, thanks for coming over. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.
So, sorry, I'm getting a little – maybe your hoarse voice is getting me over here, but I didn't know you could pass that off. But
it's a sacrifice every Saturday.
There you go. So what is your role on game day? What do you do exactly?
I warm them up, and then obviously the get-back guy, and then we try to juice them up as much as possible.
Okay.
So just try to get them going and get them live and hyped up and ready to rock and roll.
Once the game starts, is it kind of – does the juice flow on its own, or you got to get back in there some?
Well, we have these little ammonium tablets, and a lot of them like to smell them, and they freak out on them and feel like they get juiced up on that. So we do that, and then we smack them on the helmet and get them going.
So does Coach Brown have his own cutback, Coach, or is it just for everybody?
No, he does a very good job over there.
Because I've seen some coaches that actually have a guy sort of attached to him at the hip.
Coach Kitchens was like that. Coach Stacks was like that. We don't have anybody like that this year, so everybody does a good job about staying back. And
I don't know who's going to pull Coach Stacks back anyway. I mean, good luck with that one. That's a tough gig.
No kidding, right?
So I want to ask you about one of the things when we talked about getting you on tonight. I was curious about what you do in the off season, and then what you do from a strength standpoint during the season to try to keep the guys in tip-top shape. So let's start with the off season and maybe some of the things you guys work on, and maybe some of your standouts in the pre-camp.
Yeah, absolutely. In the off season, we do 4 days a week. There's a ton of volume involved. Obviously, the intensity, we keep it pretty high. And then in the spring, we don't do hardly any conditioning. We mainly focus on their strength aspect. And then once the summer rolls around is when we really hammer home that conditioning. And it's a lot. They're still going 4 days a week in the weight room, but they're also going 4 days a week with the conditioning as well. So they really have to do a good job about taking care of their body, eating right, sleeping enough, hydrating well, extra mobility work. If they have restrictions, whether it's a shoulder, an ankle, a hip, we're going to give them some extra stuff to do to help out with that. But really, when it comes down to it, we're going to squat heavy, we're going to bench press heavy. Those will be 2 days, and then we'll have another 2 days of speed bench and speed squat. And when I say speed, I mean it's still decently heavy, 75, 80, 85%, but it's for 2 to 3 reps, and we're repeating that for 10 to 12 sets. And it's on the clock, so they got about 60 seconds to recover, and then we're right back at it, kind of mimicking a play clock in a way.
How variant are the workouts by position?
It changes up a little bit. We're going to stick to the main lifts. Everybody's going to do the main lifts. What changes is what's called post-activation potentiation. So we lift them heavy, right? And then immediately afterwards we do a plyometric of some sort, whether it's a box jump or a broad jump or a clapping push-up, whatever we're doing for that day, if it's a bench press day do a clap and push up afterwards. Whereas some of our linemen, not all of them can do that. So instead of doing that, they'll do a med ball slam or a med ball jam, something that gets you really, really fast and working on that speed aspect of things.
So once you before we get into the during the season.
Yeah.
Give me some standouts. Give me some guys that wow me. Give me some numbers.
I'm pretty sure RJ might have told you some things, but we do a single leg split squat. All right, so and mainly people squat off of 2 legs. Well, we do off of 1 leg, right? Carlos Blackman, and then Jackie watched him and had to match him on it, But he did 615 pounds with a 10-second hold at the bottom of his split squat, and it was freakishly incredible to watch. And then Jackie looked over at him. Said I'm gonna match that, So it's good to have it on both sides of the ball.
I mean, there's no telling how many surgeries I'd need after trying that. That's unbelievable.
I'd rip my groin.
I mean, can you imagine?
Man.
I mean, with 2 legs, that would be brutal.
Yeah.
As far as a lineman, anybody you would give the tip of the cap to as far as your strongest lineman on either side?
I mean, them freshmen walked in ready to rock and roll, So Will Burgess and Jalen Hendricks, them 2 big old guys. All the linemen work extremely hard. Eric Jackson's ridiculously strong. All the defensive, offensive linemen, they work hard. But yeah, those 2 new guys walked in, and it surprised all of us because we didn't expect, to bench press 400 pounds walking in day one. You're like, what in the world have you been eating and doing? So
That's good. That's
a good problem to have.
Yeah,
it's good recruiting.
Yeah, no doubt.
Exactly.
That's exactly right. Great job. What about during the season? What do you do to keep strength up and obviously not break the guys down during the season?
Yes, sir. I'm glad you asked that. The biggest thing that we're trying to do in season is complement what they're doing on the field, not take away. So off season, hey, anything goes. But whenever we get in season, I don't want them to be sore walking out of the weight room. I want them to feel good. I want them to say, man, I got a good little swole session, and I'm going to practice, or I'm going to class, or I'm going to get some lunch now. So I don't want them to go to practice sore. I want them to feel good, and what we do is we shorten up the ranges of motion on our heavy deal, on our heavy lift, and I could go on and on about all the workouts that we do, but after we go heavy, then we come back and we go light on some accessory work stuff.
Do you have any role in the nutrition, or is that a whole separate thing?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And it's especially when the coaches get with their position guys in the off season, they talk about, hey, well, I want you here, I want you going up, I want you going down, I want you maintaining and distributing the body fat a little bit different.
Yeah.
So that is with their position coach. Once that is established, then yes, they come over and they get with us, and we help them out with that. But we also have a nutrition center. Coach Mike Norvell, is very gracious enough to him and his wife are gracious enough to donate back to UCA, and yeah, we can leave the guys out of there with about 2,500 calories worth of snacks. We still want them to get breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but we can give them some snacks to take with them for the road, and then we also have a Powerade station as well. They can get electrolytes immediately, on the spot. So that helps out a ton.
I'm talking to Alex Fotioo, the strength and conditioning coach here at Central Arkansas. Are you football only?
No, sir.
You're over everything.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So it's
you got a lot going on.
Always a season going on.
You know, one of the things that stood out to me too was you mentioned RJ and the fact that you guys were in school together. We'll more on him in a minute. Yeah. But maybe I should talk to you off the air about that. But the cool thing is, and when I'm talking about Coach Brown, the fact that he bleeds purple, you got your undergrad here and your master's here.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's got to be great being here and helping a program that you grew up around.
It's amazing. I feel very fortunate and very blessed every single day to wake up and do what I get to do. And I actually GA'd for Nate, so it's a perfect picture for me.
What year was that?
2011.
2011.
Yeah.
He signaled on the sideline. So So he was.
Yeah, for 2 years I did a dummy deal, and then the next year for our offensive line I signaled into them. So that was cool, to get to do that. But I liked the football coaching aspect of it, but strength and conditioning is really where I felt comfortable and where I felt like I could contribute the most to the team.
Gotcha.
I got to go off and experience some other programs. Been at Southern Miss, been up at Tennessee, saw how the SEC level worked, and it was very eye-opening and extremely helpful, beneficial for my career because I got to take that and use that wisdom and that expertise and bring it back here. And I mean we've had 2 conference championships, since then, and it's been a great deal, So it's fun. I promise you, I enjoy it every single day.
Are you an Arkansas native?
Yes, sir. I'm from Hot Springs. Went to Lake Hamilton High School. So,
okay.
So me and Burgess, we connect a little bit there.
There you go.
Yeah. I'm not 350 pounds, I'll tell you that. But yeah, we connect there.
And you and RJ were in school together.
Yes, sir.
Now,
yes, sir.
You see him on the sideline, and, his wife looks great, but RJ's been unable to shake the baby weight. And so I'm wondering if maybe you could work with him a little bit.
Hey, I've told him. I give him some nutrition advice.
Okay.
The next thing for him is to come get a workout.
My favorite phrase from RJ when we go on road trips is, man, these donuts are so delicious. I cannot tell you. And the next thing I look, he's over here, he's eating cookies. I'm like, bro.
Oh, man.
I mean, he's still a relatively young guy. He just celebrated a birthday, but I'm like, dude, you might want to get it together. So anyway, but we like to give him a hard time. So, well, listen, congratulations on all the great work you're doing, and keep it up. And thanks for coming on tonight.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for having me.
Appreciate it. All right,
Yep.
let's hear it for Coach Fotioo. That's great stuff. It's interesting. Yeah, because, again, and Coach, going back to your days, I don't know how much it's different what you see with your guys versus what you guys did. I mean, you're not that far removed from it, but it's probably a little different.
Well, I'll tell you, the where we've grown as a program, and, it's, as we keep pushing forward in this Division I process, is just the nutrition side of it. I mean, that's so huge for our guys. I mean, Coach Fotioo obviously puts the plan together. He gets the guys ready to go. I mean, whether it's conditioning, whether it's strength, whatever it is. But then we can add the element of the nutrition, and that's been the part that's really probably set us apart from a lot of programs at this level is being able to have that nutrition center, and Coach Norvell and Maria for obviously donating every year for that, and that's huge. And then having a guy like Coach Fotioo who bleeds purple. I mean, that's we talk about the coaches on staff, the 10 assistants, 5 of them are UCA grads. Well, Coach Fotioo's one of our main guys, director of strength and conditioning. He's a UCA guy. That's just another added element to this program, and he's heavily involved in the recruiting process when we bring them on campus and all those things. He's talking to moms and dads, how he's going to take care of them, how he's going to make them bigger, faster, all those things. So the reality of it is when our guys step on campus, we got about 110 players on our roster. They're with Coach Fotioo more than they're with me. They're with Coach Fotioo more than they're with their position coaches. They're with him and his staff more than anybody they'll be around. And so it's huge to have someone you can trust on that end where you don't have to worry about it. He's going to get the job done with your guys.
Let's go back to some of the performances from the game last weekend, Coach. Chris Terrell, and again, it's no surprise. I mean, we've seen him doing a bunch, but he has really sort of hit his stride in the defense. It seems like it took him a few weeks to kind of find their traction, I guess, and get back to what we are used to seeing, and they're finally getting there. We did see a little bit of looked like they were mixing in some linebacker action the other day, which was fun, put some pressure on Orgeron. But Chris Terrell, 2 sacks, 5 tackles, forced a fumble. Did some great things up front, and we're thank God he's got a year left.
Man, CT is just a relentless defensive player. He's exactly what you want at defensive end. He's going to play till the whistle. It doesn't matter whether it's a run, pass, whether he's rushing the passer or if he's stuffing the run. The ball can be away from him. It's just like on that fumble he caused. I mean, the ball's on the sideline, and he's running it down and forcing the fumble. So Chris is just an amazing player. He's someone that you can watch. It doesn't take 5 seconds to turn the film on and him stand out. I have coaches before and after games constantly say, man, 95 is relentless. And that's what you're looking for on defense. And guys feed off that. And it's not just him. Eric Jackson's that way. Nate Grant, Javius Brown, Caden Brown, Vidal Scott. I mean, you can keep naming Austin Norris. They all are playing really hard and extremely good right now. And if we continue to play that way, we'll have a chance in these last 3 games.
Well, and I got to think Nathan is benefiting from Chris's, not only his play, but his reputation.
Yeah, no question. I mean, one thing Chris has had to get used to is having his ribs hurting on Sundays because he's going to get checked by the back. He's going to get chipped by the tight end. And it's the same for Nate. I mean, Nate's established himself as a great pass rusher. So, that's what those guys do. And then you can throw Cardell Best in there to spell them both, and he's as good as pass rusher as there is in the league. So, we feel confident about those guys, and those guys make our defensive backs better. And we know if we can make a team one-dimensional, make them throw it, we'll have a chance to get after that quarterback.
Saturday it all gets underway. Now, again, it's a late kick, obviously, at 6 o'clock. Bear Bash at Alumni Hall from 2 to 5. And what time will how far in advance of the kickoff do you guys do Bear Walk?
We'll do it at 3:30.
Okay.
Yep. So we'll be right around that parade, the homecoming coronation parade. We may be leading it for all I know, or right at the end of it. I'm not sure, but it'll be right around it.
That'll be great.
Yeah, that's always a great Bear Walk, homecoming. All the fraternities and sororities come out, and obviously huge day for the students, and obviously alumni. So that's always big for our players. They enjoy the great crowd and the atmosphere on home. 'Cause it's supposed to be good weather. So I mean, I think we'll be excited and ready for that.
I'll double check that. What's the what are the responsibilities for you and your team during the homecoming week?
Well, it's really there's a lot of you don't want to call it distractions because it's all kind of the fun of the homecoming week. But you got pep rallies. Obviously, I spoke in a pep rally today in College Square to some of our people that are on campus, and so we there's different pep rallies and different events, but that's all part of it. And I told the guys, on Sunday night, look, it's homecoming week, and all the festivities that go with it is great. But at the end of the day, why are we having homecoming? We're having homecoming for a football game, and it's our job to go out and win the football game and finish the homecoming week with a good party, with a victory.
That would be good for sure. Lamar Cardinals coming to town, and this is a Lamar team that your team got over on pretty good last year. Ran the ball all over the place. 42-14 final. 58 carries, 332. I think those were season highs last year, certainly on carries. And I think the 332 on the ground was as well. But this is a different Lamar team, Coach, and they've had an interesting schedule. They lost to Northwestern State by 1, lost to Southeastern Louisiana 30-24, and then got beat by a really good Nichols team. But then since then, I mean, they have been hammering it out. It's been impressive. And Incarnate Word, a team that's had a good year, they beat them 27-21. Sam Houston State, 41-23. They beat the Bearcats. If that doesn't raise eyebrows, I don't know what will. And then they beat SFA in Nacogdoches last weekend. So this is a team that's riding high and playing confident. And they have a lot of weapons, especially in the run game.
They're the hottest team in the conference right now. They're on a 3-game win streak, and what they do on offense poses a problem to opposing defenses. They're a triple option team, so they'll run some different stuff that you don't see every week. And their quarterbacks, they got 2 of them. Unfortunately, we won't know which one's going to play because they both played a good bit last week, so we could be playing a backup again.
You should be used to this by now.
That would be week 5 in a row for that. So, but that's something we'll be prepared for and ready for. Both of them are really good athletes, can run the football. They're a team that relies on the run. They're not looking to pass the ball a whole lot. They want to establish the run and play ball control, play a ball control game. And so what that does is it minimizes your opportunities on offense because they do control the ball. So we're going to have to stop the run and on offense, they're going to pose some aggressive style defense. They're going to trust their corners and safeties to cover your receivers, and they're going to load the box and blitz and play zero coverage. So it'll be an exciting week. You could see a lot of big plays happen on Saturday. Just hopefully it's for the good guys.
Last week almost felt like it, and this week certainly is starting to feel like it, that your team needs to win out to make its case for a postseason appearance. Did it feel like playoff mode last week, and certainly do you feel like it now?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've got no choice at this point, and I think it did last week as well. And obviously we came up short, and that's not something we necessarily talked about because you want to stay so honed in and tunnel vision on one game and not worry about the future. But as we push forward and keep going through this season, you obviously you got one eye on what you're trying to accomplish, and that's get to postseason play. So it's going to take one week at a time for the next 3 weeks, and we know that Lamar is a tough task. Coming to town this week, but we play well at home, and we're 3-0 right now at home, and they're 1-2 on the road. So hopefully that's an advantage to us, and we've got to play well. We've got to play well, protect the football, do better on third downs, and we'll have a chance to beat these guys. What
do you attribute the struggles on third down last week?
I just think really good defense on their part. I think that's one thing. They were tops in the conference at stopping the third down. And maybe it was a little bit of unlucky breaks here or there, or whatever it was. Getting in some third and long situations, which is always more difficult to convert. But that that's something that will get fixed and corrected, and you won't see that happen again. I can guarantee you for the rest of the season.
Again, as far as Lamar, does their personnel – well, we'll talk about it in a second. We're about to hit our break here. I was going to ask about personnel versus what they try to do. They've got a lot of different backs. They had a couple guys go over 100 yards against Sam Houston, and then somebody completely different. The Hoy kid goes for over 200 this last week against SFA. So a lot of guys to keep an eye on from a personnel standpoint. We'll talk about that in a second. All right, stay tuned. We got one more segment left. We've got our 2-minute drill coming up as well. It's a very Halloween-themed 2-minute drill. I kind of thought the kids would show up dressed up tonight.
I know, man. They should have. I don't know why Luke getting dressed up.
I saw some pictures on social media, though. It looks like the bear outfit is really a big hit.
It's a hit.
And it looks like it.
He likes it.
He's going to get a ton of candy this week, I think. And then he's going to share some with me next Monday, I bet.
What do you think?
No. Okay, I'm getting no candy. All right, well, it's worth a shot. It's funny, Coach. Every week we get these indicators, and obviously this was the premier game of the week with the Bears and the Cowboys, but Southeastern Louisiana loses at Sam Houston State 28-25.
Close.
I mean, you just never know what you're going to get. Northwestern State and Houston Baptist had a heck of a ball game, and I would have never guessed that Houston Baptist could have been held down to 28 by the Demons in that game. This week, some other games to keep an eye on, and every week, who knows? So Sam Houston and Incarnate Word will be an interesting game, 2 o'clock down in San Antonio. They've been really good on their home field under new leadership. Northwestern State at Abilene Christian. Nichols is at Houston Baptist, and obviously the Colonels are hoping for help and trying to win out and make the postseason. The McNeese going to Hammond. We all know how tough that could be.
Tough.
So again,
it's a
who knows?
It's a crazy year. It's a good thing the league's got a lot of depth. I mean, I think in the end it's going to bode well for us, but it's good. It's good. It's been a fun year, and it's been fun to watch those teams get better. Just hopefully on the weeks we play them, they're not better.
Yeah, exactly. We know the Cardinals are going to run it some more, and obviously they've got a quarterback who can do some things too in the air. They are towards the bottom of the standings as far as passing game goes, but they can run it on everybody. And it's actually, you guys are currently the number 2 rush defense in the league against the number 1 run offense in the league, and they are really having a ton of success in that regard. So. Obviously not going to give your game plan away, but I mean, is it?
Well, it's simple. Play assignment football. I mean, at the end of the day, Coach Thurman's going to be preaching this week about playing your assignments, playing your gaps, because this is a team with what they do, run schematically wise, that they can make you hurt. And that's what you saw there. I think their quarterback last week, he was a backup quarterback. That's why we think we might see him rush for over 200 yards against Stephen F. Austin. It was on speed option stuff where they took the pitch and they didn't take the quarterback, and he was able to run wild. So it's going to be assignment football, trusting your eyes, day one fundamental stuff, and then just not being selfish, making the play when you play when the ball's in your area or with your guy. So it's old school football. So it'll be exciting to watch, and then we've got to obviously put some points up on the board on offense, and I know we've got the explosiveness to do that.
Yeah, it's a totally different kind of game from last week. Certainly, this is a team that has struggled on defense, but they've been really good on offense, especially run the football, and it's just really a interesting. And week to week, that's the Southland, I guess, for you, especially this year. All right, let's go through our 2-minute drill here, quick. Horror movies for you, yes or no?
Yeah.
You like them?
Yeah.
Okay. Jason, Freddy, or Michael Myers? Who's your go-to?
Jason.
Okay.
Yeah.
Friday the 13th. Any movie that kept you up at night, whether it's a horror movie or something else?
No.
Silence of the Lambs, any of that stuff back in the day?
Hills Have Eyes was kind of weird.
That was a weird movie.
Stuff like that keeps me up more than like horror movies.
Yeah. Stuff that actually you think it could happen.
I'm
the same way.
Just weirdos.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, hey, Jessica, I think there was a knock at the door. Could you go get that?
Yeah, no doubt. Luke, can you go get that?
Yes. That's not the right thing to do, but it's sometimes you're tempted. Which of your players do you think keeps opposing quarterbacks and offensive coordinators up at night?
Chris Terrell for sure. Chris Terrell and Juan Jackson.
Does Chris Terrell ever wear a hockey mask? Because wasn't there a mask going around early in the season?
We've got a mask. We've got a few pictures, I believe, that kind of has that horror movie mask. So.
But then we went to something else.
Yeah, it wasn't working for us, so we decided to pump the brakes on the mask.
Okay, so we don't have anything to identify those who get a turnover?
No, I mean, we keep that to Coach Fotioo and them to keep the juice up.
Okay.
So.
Would you rather sleep all night in a coffin at your house, in a traditional bed in a haunted house, or alone in a cabin in the woods?
Alone in a cabin in the woods.
Okay.
No question. No question.
All right. How do you feel about clowns?
Don't like them.
Okay. It's good. You're going to fit right in with most of the guys I know. And then at your house, if somebody comes by the Brown house on Halloween night, you'll probably be watching tape, but what are they going to get? Do you guys have a go-to, or you guys go a mix of candy?
We're a mixed bag candy, and then if Carlos comes over, we'll have Sour Patch Kids.
Very good. Perfect. Let's end on that one. I like it. All right. Very good. Perfect. Perfect timing. All right. Well, Coach, listen, good luck this week again, folks. Hope to have a big crowd. You mentioned the weather, 64 and sunny. Going to be a great Saturday. It'll be a great night for football here.
We need everybody in Conway and the Central Arkansas community to come out. Our players need it. This is a big game for the season and the future of this year and our program. So it's going to be a big week. Excited with good weather and homecoming festivities.
All right, good luck. All right, that's going to do it for us. We'll be back here next week. Hopefully recap a big win over the Cardinals back here at Pizza Ranch in Conway. Thanks for tuning in, and good night, everybody.